All right, hey everybody! Before you continue watching this video, well, hit the like, hit the subscribe. Let's get the show on the road. All right, I'm gonna come to y'all today about how does a quote work? You know, because you always seeing like, oh yeah, hit this message. Get your free quote. Reach out and we'll get you a free estimate. Well, I just want to go over today what to expect when you go and get you go and receive a quote on whatever that you want watched. Well, the first thing is when they show up, the first thing they're gonna do is listen to what you are wanting them to wash, right? Whether it be the house, the gutters, clean the gutters, or maybe get some a stain out the concrete, siding, whatever it is, brick. They're gonna look at what you're wanting them to do, and then they're going to see, okay, they're gonna set the expectation. What is the expectation? Because if they don't set the expectation, let's say if you say, I want that driveway cleaned, and then they come out there, they work on the driveway, they already know what to expect, based off of looking at it. But let's just say what you see doesn't match when he said he was going to get it done, or she was going to get it done, you thought that it was going to be totally clear. Well, instead, you still see a stain there, maybe a little bit lighter, but it's still a stain there. Reason being, they didn't set the expectation, right? So the expectation must be set, and then of course, they're also gonna mentally take notes of like damages and stuff like that, because when you so let's say if you see them pull out their phone, they're taking pictures. Some of it is simply before pictures, but some pictures, you'll see some companies do this who will take that extra measure in safety. If they find anything amiss, maybe holes, cracks, or stuff like that, they'll take pictures of it, and they may not send it to you, but they may have it in store at the very least, just so because sometimes things pop out. That's how these things happen. When you wash something, when it's dirty, you don't see it. But when you wash it, when it pops out, then you will see like, hold on, did you, was that there? Right? And then, you got your videos, your pictures and everything. So that's a safety measure that you'll see a pressure washer do. And then also, they'll also check for water locations. Because are they going to have to bring water, or or do you have your own water? Because we do use the customer's water to wash their own house, right? It wouldn't make sense for me to go to the next door neighbor get their water to wash your house. And if I have to find water from somewhere, then that's just going to be an extra charge. And actually, I'm gonna make a video on water as well, because that's a good question. A lot of people are concerned about where we get water. Does it affect your water bill and stuff like that? For people who more have a question about that, I will be making a video on that. But for right now, we're just going over quote expectations when a pressure washer comes out there. Okay, so. And then, okay, of course, how long would it take to clean it? Like how dirty is your property? And because it depends on how dirty. Let's say if you're doing a siding and it hasn't been washed in 10 years, you may have to, he may have to reapply the process. Sometimes the first time, applying the process may not be enough. And so that can prolong how long it takes to be out there. And then also, which is labor. And then also, and chemicals, because they're going to have to use more chemical as well. And then of course, what does it cost to be out there? Because we don't come into the business to break even, or to other words, do it for free. We got families, as well too, and we want to live the American dream as well. So we want to actually work for profit. One of the natural expenses that brings us out there is, for one, how did you hear about us? Marketing, right? That costs. And then you have insurance, right? In just in case, God forbid anything happens, so, an employee working out there gets hurt or something like that. You don't want them to be insured so they can cover that, right? Because if they're not, there could be fines in relation to people who are not licensed working and get hurt on your property. Depends on the state, so you want to watch out for that. And so make sure that they're licensed and insured, definitely. And then of course you got gas, for I've had to explain this before, and believe me or not, when you're toting like all that weight on the back, whether you got a set on your truck or you have like a rig, like a trailer like I got, or we hitch it on, you got a lot of weight back there. If you got like a 250 gallon water tank or 300 gallon water tank, it's 8 pounds per gallon. So think about that. So it wears down your transmission, and then when you're driving and you're mashing that gas, you can't just mash that gas and release it. It's gonna, you see what I'm saying? So in order to get there, instead of you like normally driving and allowing the car just to roll, you're literally the whole way, most of the way there. So you're using twice as much gas. Yeah, I drove one way like about 50 minutes, about 40 something minutes, and it used $20 of gas going one way. Yeah. So, and that's one way there and one way back. And then it takes it's over $20 just to fill in the gas for the machine. So if they only charging you $20, $30 for gas, that's pretty cheap, right? And I'll cut on gas just to, at times just to, satisfy a customer or so, but that it really cuts into your profit, and that's a whole nother thing, especially with reference to pressure washers. And then you got chemicals, right? The cost of chemicals, pretty straightforward with that, whatever, because some chemicals can cost, $17, on a simple wash, on one coating, but then you can have something cost around $60 just for a gallon, right? And you may need 2, 3, 4, 5 gallons, right? So you have to so that's going to go in, that's going to adjust the price as well. And then of course labor, right? Because those are expenses that for us to even be out there. So if you take all those expenses divided by 30 days, and on the daily what you need to be bringing out, like if a person, just for them to step out, no labor, just stepping out, just with the expenses alone, they're right there at $100 just to show up. I'm talking about if they want to just show up with the intention to put water on a flower, just for them the expenses to bring them out there in pressure washing, it's around $100. If they got, of course, the marketing, the insurance, gas, chemicals, and stuff like that, what it really takes to be out there. It's between $88 to $100. That's why, so when you go into labor, so like an hour of labor, most people are charging around $200 for an hour of labor. So think about it. Now, they don't really say, oh yeah, I charge $200 by the hour, but that's the price. Like, they may be out there 2 hours, but they're going to charge you that $200, right, on coming out. So, because what are they doing it for? Everything else is getting sucked up. So, and then they just say they charge $200 for the labor. That's what I charge. So at that point, you at $299. So if you ever got a quote from me a little bit less than that, that's the percentage off the deal off, or maybe do the marketing, which also costs, right, to get in front of you. Right, so if you went through that process, you may have gotten that receive that percentage, and you may have gotten down to $240, or you got down to $275. That's because of how you coming through my marketing, right, and me giving you a deal. But for me to step out, for me personally, just to step out to put water on a plant is $288. $100 just to $88, $89 just to show up. And actually it's more than that. I haven't really calculated all the expense, because we're talking about like different ads and stuff like that. You're more than there $100, and then you add $200 just in labor, you're already at $288, $299. Yeah, and that's just on the hour labor. We're not even talking about how long would it take them to actually get it done, or how big your property is. So starting prices really is around like $288 and above. So if you get anything less than that, more than likely they're missing one of those things that in the long run can cost you, the customer. And that's not a good thing, right? So if something goes wrong, horribly missed for whatever reason, something gets destroyed, guess what? They ain't got insurance. You probably gonna have a hard time finding them. So so make sure that they're insured, make sure they're licensed, yeah. So that's what you want to expect out of a quote. Okay, so that's the question I was wanting to answer, because I see that when I go out, a lot of people don't really understand how it goes, and of course we take them through that process. But I thought I'd make a video explaining more in depth in what to expect and why you get what you get. Well, that's it for right now, and I'll be making more videos to come. And remember, hit that follow, hit that like, hit that subscribe. Boom, bada bam. All right, and see you on the next time.